in Europe.
So the last time these two teams played was in the regional finals. Dignitas were able to take down Renault Vitality 4-2 back then. And with the 1-game advantage that Vitality have coming into this, they are going to have to do that, or they're going to have to improve upon that result. As we're going to see, Violent Panda forces his way through, and Dignitas start us off in a big way.
Wow, that's a pretty good start for Dignitas. It looks like Vitality were expecting some kind of aerial attack. K-Dot was ready on the back wall to get up high for some kind of defensive play there, but Violent Panda just cut it straight in field towards the goal. Really good awareness to notice the weak point, and they're already ready to tie up this series if they can keep it going the way it is. That seems necessary for me. They need to, come out absolutely flying in this series because Vitality have been on the ball and they've got that 1-game advantage, like you said.
Well, throughout the spring series, we've already seen 3 grand finals. So far, the winner's bracket has taken 2 wins. The loser's bracket has managed to come back from that 1-game disadvantage and win once. That was last week over at the OCE Grand Finals. Right, Vitality, though, they've got to try and figure out Dignitas, who are looking to put together their 2nd straight major win against the roster. And we'll take a somewhat tame shot towards Fairy Peak. But this is great pressure currently being put on by Dignitas. Yukio bounces the ball to the corner. Not quite the bounce he wanted, though. You know he wanted to roll up. Continue to follow off the wall. And it's now Vitality's turn to put something together off the backboard. And it's still pressure. Violent Panda accidentally helps pinch it into his own net.
And that's going to be pretty hard to stop from that range. K-Dot just completely ducks on Panda in that play. There's really no time to react for the goalkeeper. 1-1. And you need to just get a bit more goal sight on that ball, it would seem. It was a really tough one to recover from, though. Panda couldn't do too much. And this is not what you want if you're a Dignitas fan. They haven't looked themselves this tournament. You want them to be popping off. You want them to be passing the ball brilliantly. And you want this guy, Astral, to get involved a lot more than he has been. Vitality overall have looked like the better team this tournament.
There's arguments to be made as well that as much as Dignitas need to improve upon earlier performances, they need Alpha to not hit the form he was in earlier, because he was destructive in the winners finals. Endpoint simply did not have an answer to him. K-Dot will pass it to the far side.
Yeah, it's a bit careless there by K-Dot. He was somewhere between a shot and a pass, and it ended up being good for neither. Dignitas with some time to control the ball in their own half, and there's nobody trying to demo them while they do it this game. That's going to be quite comfortable for them. And, like the desk were saying, this is a team that they're much more used to playing against, and a style that they're a lot more used to playing against. This was the loser's final. We would have had a virtuoso right there, trying to demo probably all 3 players. I think it's just looking a bit more calm now in defense, and rightfully so.
Still at 1 goal apiece. Alpha just harassing Panda. They go for the short pass. It was right next to each other as they tried to get it off. Might have even been attempting a pinch. Good job from Panda. Baits out 1 player. He's got another 1 pass. Wins the challenge against Alpha as well. This is a good place for Dignitas to play the ball, but they also need to make sure they don't get caught on the counter-attack. Yukio's trying to buy a bit of time. An extra touch over the top, and he's held that middle rail very well.
Yeah, it's nice play there by Yukio. All of Dignitas, honestly, are doing a great job keeping the ball in the Vitality end. Vitality are struggling to get rid of it. And, recently we've not seen too much of this from Vitality. They've been brilliant at passing the ball into defense, but maybe Dignitas can try and capitalize on that, because really, for Vitality, it's been all too easy this tournament. If Dignitas can come out and show them something they haven't had to face all tournament long, then who knows, maybe Vitality will be the ones caught off guard.
Dignitas still pushing the pressure on the other side of the field. Fairy Peak wants to try and cut out this passing play, but Astral just pushes the ball along. And Panda was quite far forward. He's almost got his team caught. Yukio scrambles back. Have to be very aware against Vitality. They can turn it on you at a single moment.
Infield passes for both teams are looking quite risky, honestly, as everybody's stationed themselves in position to intercept them before they come across. The backboards are looking pretty wide open at the moment. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the avenue of attack that these teams decide to go for as this game progresses.
Alpha decides to push on. Yukio can't figure it out. And that's a bit of a tame one for Dignitas to give up.
Yeah, that's very careless by Dignitas. It just bounces in, free for Alpha to play. You know, Yukio looks a bit silly trying to make that save, but it's the fact that he's driven forward in the first place that made life difficult for him. If he just stayed back, he would have had an easier shot to, or an easier job saving that one. You know, that's just the confusion. The ball's again gone past them. And after looking pretty solid all game, Dignitas have just fallen apart at the end here.
And it's very difficult to understate or overstate just how important these goals are for Vitality. They get this, they double up their lead, and they force Dignitas to only have one life left.
Yeah, Dignitas are in a lot of trouble here, Shogun. If they do lose this, then they've got to win 4 out of the next 6 games. And that's going to be pretty hard against a Vitality lineup, you know, who did take a couple off them the last time that they played. It's just not a position you want to be in. Vitality are good enough to just fight back against pretty much any team that they go up against. It's really difficult to put 3-4 games in a row past them. The mentality is just never really seeming to be broken for them. And it's something we come used to seeing from the French teams in Rocket League.
Yeah, very much a case of you need to be on form because they're never going to be off theirs. And Renault Vitality haven't really needed to be too on form for their goals. They were very much gifted them by Dignitas, who will definitely be displeased with how they ended up throwing away their lead. It was a lead that they got earlier on from Violent Panda, but it will not matter now. This game is now going to be beyond them. And Renault Vitality up by 2.
That is the perfect start for Vitality. They didn't have to do too much in this game. It was disappointing in the end for Dignitas because they did look solid for most of the game. And then there were 2 defensive blunders. Yukio really running into no man's land instead of staying back on the second goal. And then the third goal, quickly off a kickoff. Ball just bounces in an awkward position. Nobody there to deal with it. Wide open net for K-Dop. If, you know, Dignitas don't make these misplays, maybe they can steal this game, but you can't really think about that if you're a Dignitas fan right now. The only important thing is they need to win 4 games out of 5. I correct myself when I said earlier it's 4 out of 6. They need to win 4 out of 5. And when you say it like that, it does sound like a lot more difficult of a task, especially when you're against this Vitality lineup who are just, I think, likely to put a game at least past a Dignitas team, regardless of how well they're playing. They're going to sneak in wins here and there.
Well, the scary thing for Vitality taking them on is that they've got a base level that is already terrifying, but unlike a lot of teams that we see where we point towards, you know, 1 or 2 star players and expect them to pop off, any one of these 3 have been able to show to do it. Alpha was the only one coming into this tournament that I'd seen it less from, but it seems like he's comfortable now on this roster, and from what we've seen from him today alone, even he could step up and snatch a victory away from Dignitas, even with them playing well.
Oh, absolutely. Alpha 54 is definitely a player whose potential has not been reached on this lineup. He's played well enough on Vitality for them to look like, you know, potentially the best team in the world at times, and, you know, going all the way to the regional finals of the last RLCS season against Dignitas. So he's definitely done a good job on this team, but I think he can be even better, and that's something we've seen this tournament. He's been really outstanding, and, you know, I think he can even get better still, if you ask me. He's mechanically brilliant, and he's very smart about the game, and the fact that he's got 2 experienced players like K-Dop and Fairy Peak to learn from, just how good can this guy get?
Here we go. We've got Alpha on the ball exactly now. Astral has that one read. It's a good thing about taking a mechanical player when you've got another very mechanical player on your side. Tend to know all the tricks in the book. Yukio lays off to Panda. Panda to Astral. Oh, shot on net. It wasn't that much angle. It didn't need it.
You know, initially it looked like Yukio had given away a nice opportunity here, but the pass was even better. That's great vision. Really selfless play by Yukio to bring Violent Panda back into the game there. And that's what's been missing from Dignitas' play all weekend. These successful passing plays in the final third. Can they keep that up? Because if they do, you know, that's going to make more space for them to work with, as Vitality have to be off the ball, reading the passing plays as they come in.
Dignitas, when they're playing at their best, it looks like a pinball machine. And it's going to be very much down to them to get that going against a Vitality squad that just will force challenges, break you down, and grab the goal. Sometimes the Vitality wins are not overly pretty, but my goodness, are they effective. We've already seen Dignitas in this position once before. Taking the early goal up. Now they need to try and defend it much better than they did last time around. Yukio tries to take the corner. He's lost his boost. Means he's going to have to really play this one well. K-Dop with a great challenge. Panda blast long. Yukio's still sticking around. Not too sure if this is the best idea, because he's going to be low boost on his way back. As long as Dignitas can continue to challenge the midfield, it's going to give him plenty of time to reset.
Looks like Vitality are playing this one quite aggressively, really far up the field. We're seeing 50-50s being accepted in the Dignitas corner. Now, this is risky by Vitality, because if they don't get a good challenge, it could be disastrous. Oh, K-Dop's just missed from point-blank range there. You'd usually put the house on him scoring from that position. Dignitas have to be careful. You can't give K-Dop that much space, that much time on the ball from that range.
It's going to be an infield pass. Fairy Peak, he doesn't miss those. We've seen him score 7 in a single game, Johnny. And if you're going to give him a pass that quality, then you know exactly what the result is going to be.
Yeah, it's a brilliant recovery by Alpha. Perfect pass by him. Yukio underestimated how quickly Alpha would reach that ball after being taken out of the game on the previous challenge. You know, I'm being proven wrong so far. I was not really sold on Vitality's strategy to just dive into every single challenge head on with no fear, but it seems to be working. Their 50-50 game is very strong. All these players have a 1v1 background. And maybe that could be something they capitalize on against a Dignitas lineup who don't have that same pedigree in the head-on collisions. You know, Dignitas definitely have a lot more to bring to the table in terms of the aerial game. When you're standard matchup between these two, they're struggling to get the ball through Vitality at the moment. You're looking a bit like a brick wall in defense.
Right now, Dignitas are in stages where they are hesitating on when they want to move for the ball, and for an offense that is as fluid as theirs, it can definitely throw a spanner in the works. Very Peak wants to get the ball past Astral, but Astral holding the midfield. He's got 2 players out, actually. K-Dop would be by himself, but Dignitas can't get the ball moving quick enough. Very Peak will now join him. There's an infield pass. Yukio comes in from a bad angle. Might not matter. Bounces off. And it's all down to Astral to make the decision. Does he want to move in? Instead, waits for Panda to start holding the midfield instead. Recognizing it is 1-1. Don't need to take any unnecessary risks just yet. Worst comes to worst, you just see yourself in overtime. Alpha to the ceiling. Has he got any options? Does he need any sometimes? Can very much just 1v3 an entire team, but Fairy Peak's won the challenge, and that is a crucial demo from Astral. Yukio slow plays. I don't know if he had much of a choice in it, to be honest. Seems like Dignitas are going to be fully reliant on Astral using this 100 boost to do something to get them out.
Yeah, Vitality are just manhandling Dignitas in 50-50s at the moment. Every single one of them goes in their favor as another one goes in at the near post. 2-1 to Vitality. Dignitas just can't stop them as they barrel forward.
Well, I was asking what Astral was going to do with his 100 boost. It was not to put it straight down in front of K-Dop. They needed something. It was definitely a desperate situation. But Dignitas will feel like the quality of goals that are going in against them are much lower than they really should be. Yukio hooking around the side. Violent Panda's there, but so is K-Dop. Keeps it out. Vitality chasing after that 3-game lead, which will require a reverse sweep from Dignitas. This series is quickly getting out of Dignitas' control. Violent Panda looks for the flick, ends up just putting it high. Astral will look to try and move in. Instead, takes his time across the face of goal. Yukio falls! Almost got the double tap. He didn't know much about it, but it almost didn't matter.
You know, if it goes in, everybody's going to be calling lucky Dignitas. It doesn't. Now people are going to be thinking lucky Vitality, but really, it's just chaos, and Vitality are the ones thriving. They just seem so composed and so unfazed by this Dignitas lineup, who have become well known as one of the most difficult teams to read in terms of team play, solo plays, anything related to offense pretty much. Vitality are handling them quite well. Maybe one last chance, but that's shut down also. K-Dop all over that infield pass. And then they're just going to get the ball into the ground. Can't Dignitas keep it up? No, they can't. And that is a 3-game lead to Vitality, who, to be honest, haven't really struggled so far. They are just going through the motions, and they're collecting W's.
I think that might be the most terrifying part about this result, is that even if Dignitas can start getting something to come together, you do get the feeling that Vitality don't have another gear up. They've got another 2 gears beyond that they can start reaching into. As for Dignitas, I mean, what do you really think is going wrong here? Where are these mistakes coming from?
I do think their movement off the ball looks a little bit less fluid than it usually does. We're so used to seeing Dignitas arriving at the perfect time and at the perfect speed to receive passes. That's what makes their passing play look so good. is because the movement off the ball is usually world-class, the best in the world sometimes. But today in this tournament especially hasn't been the same quality of movement by Dignitas. We saw at the end of that game, Panda just arrived way too early in the box, and he tries to jump up for what could have maybe been an open net, but he didn't have enough momentum because he had to slow down after getting there too soon. And you know, that's something that they either have to just try to work on mid-series here, or just abandon entirely, just give up on these infield passes, which have to be so well timed. You know, maybe just trying to get the ball up in the air more often it's got to be a good idea. Just stay away from the 50-50 game against Vitality today. It's definitely going to help you out.
Well, when you get rivalries like these between Dignitas and Vitality, you look across all of the incredibly close series we've had. But it's games like this, it's series like this, where you have the opportunity to not only win, but win it comfortably. And those are the sort of wins that can last a very long time in people's minds. Vitality have the opportunity not only to take the Spring Series, but to inflict one of those losses upon their biggest regional rivals. And they might just be 5 minutes away from doing so. Great pass! K-Dub slots it in.
Alpha 54 really showing up this tournament. He's continuing an MVP performance. And just like the last game, he completely shocks the Dignitas defense with his recovery speed. He's right back into the play before they can react. And that pass couldn't have been any better.
Dignitas have got to find a response here. I almost get a feeling that we need to see them win a game comfortably. But before we even get to that point, they have got to survive this barrage from Vitality. Astral looking for Panda. Just too far away from him. Yukio instead looking to escape their own side of the field, but Vitality doing a great job holding onto that midfield line. They will not be easily broken from there. Dignitas gonna have to do something special just to even get their ball over to the orange side of the field, let alone get it into the orange goal. Yukio up. Can't win the challenge. That's over the top of Panda. That is gonna be a huge amount of pressure lost.
Dignitas did find a way out. They just went for the 50-50 game, but you know, sometimes you have to. I said that's not a good idea against Vitality, but you've got no other option if Vitality take your boost and you've got nothing to get the ball clear with. That's good control by Fairy Peak. He's brought that one down in an awkward position. Vitality again looking quite comfortable handling the Dignitas roster as they come forward. There's just always men in reserve for Vitality. They're never leaving anyone alone in defense. They've always got support. They've always got players queuing up to challenge the ball. And unless Dignitas can start to fire the ball over the top of everybody at once, that's going to be a consistent problem for them.
Fairy. Got Kane up in support. Will not need him. Instead, Alpha will probably be tasked with dealing with Violent Panda. Panda's touch is very loose and just ends up giving it straight back over to the Frenchman. Looking for the corner. K-Dub reads it well. Panda, he's got a few passing options downfield. Instead, looks to be taking it by himself. He's going to be unchallenged for the longest time. And Vitality. That was very risky to be giving Panda that sort of time. Now they're going to find themselves on the back line for a bit further. Fairy Peak needs to win the challenge. He's done exactly that. And there is the real quality of Fairy Peak. One challenge and a huge danger situation just evaporates before Vitality's eyes.
Yeah, he makes a 1v2 situation look favored in his direction. It was just so effortless the way he turns that defense into attack all by himself. And then you compare that to how uncomfortable Dignitas look in defense. It's night and day. Dignitas just can't get rid of the ball safely for large periods of time. They're just having to scramble for it. Vitality have got 3 players who are all very capable of just getting behind it and getting goal side, safe as you like, not really having any issues.
Fairy. Just trying to test Yukio a little bit, who tries to hand the ball off to Astral, but he didn't seem to want too much of it. Now Astral, great first touch, looks to keep himself going. Second one sort of let him down a little bit. Kept the ball away from his car so he couldn't force the challenge. Just under 2 minutes now left on the clock, and Dignitas again don't look comfortable. They can't escape. 2 goals down. Vitality are rolling their way to the Spring Series Championship.
And I think this series has just shown us that Vitality have got a better fundamental game and a fundamental game plan than Dignitas, who maybe have been over-reliant on Astral popping off in the past. They've been over-reliant on extremely elaborate team plays making goals for them. Vitality really haven't needed to do that. They're just smashing the ball into the corner and scoring goals before Dignitas can react to it. but has Alpha as well. You know, continuing, for me, an MVP performance. He's involved in just about everything that Vitality do this weekend. Unless Dignitas can score 2 in 1 minute and 20 seconds, that is going to easily be, for me, the best player of the tournament. You know, Dignitas just don't have somebody ready to step up and carry them out of this hole, it would seem.
Yukio looking to try and do exactly that, but Panda ends up committing with him, and they get nothing for it. Astral dived in, Fairy Peak with the follow. Kate up to Alpha. Alpha's touch isn't good. Dignitas need to try and capitalize on this. Gonna take an immediate touch from Astral off the backboard. Follow-up from Yukio. They've got to score this! And it goes off the crossbar. Alpha will force it away. Infield to Yukio. Blocked by K-Dop.
And again, the infield getting denied. Every time we see Dignitas play, that is a consistent threat, but I think maybe they've looked for it too much today. Backboard was wide open, but they keep going low with the passes. You have to feel sorry for them at this point. How many times have they come so close to scoring and had to watch the ball bounce off a crossbar, bounce off a post, get scrambled clear by Vitality at the last second. Vitality just in easy mode right now. Just got to hang on for 15 seconds, and they're actually the ones in the hunt for another goal.
Yeah, Alpha just wants to try and add more to his tally. He'll get there. Panda doesn't win in the challenge, but it is too little, too late now. Message sent to the whole entirety of Europe. Vitality are the complete package, and Alpha is really fitting into this roster. That was dominant, Johnny.
Yeah, it's